What's up, everyone? It's Phoenix here, bringing you guys another episode. So today I wanted to talk about the Harry Potter RPG. Not specifically that game, because it is a leak and Warner Brothers is pretty upset about it, but I wanted to talk about what I think would make a really good Harry Potter RPG game. Assuming that, it were to ever happen, hypothetically speaking, if it were to happen, what would I want to see in a Harry Potter RPG game? Or just something that revolves around that specific wizarding world. And I think, most importantly, obviously, customization. You should be able to create your own character and, make it, I think the more customization there is, the better. For like looks and that sort of stuff. Maybe even background. Deciding whether or not you're a Muggle-born, half-blood or pure-blood. Being able to decide your like background would be very interesting to see. And just being able to basically be able to make yourself a character in the Harry Potter universe is just a cool concept. Maybe not realistic graphics, because I think there should be maybe a middle ground with the graphics. It should look real, but not so real that it's kind of disturbing. That's just kind of me. That's very me. I don't really like it when games look too real, because then it gets a little bit weird. I don't know. I just don't like it when it's too real. I kind of actually like it when it's like the Sims 4 style, when it's a little bit cartoony. But maybe not for the Harry Potter RPG game. But just being able to customize yourself, maybe just like a sort of Outer Scrolls-esque way. And more specifically, the Sorting Hat. I don't think people should just be able to choose where their character is sorted. I feel like that's a cop-out, and everyone will probably choose, Gryffindor or Slytherin, and no one's going to choose Hufflepuff, and no one's going to choose Ravenclaw. Well, maybe some people would. But I feel like it should be done a little bit better, because it's a Sorting Hat. You don't actually get a lot of say in where you're sorted, canonically. So I think simulating that in a way by having some sort of having some sort of sorting hat quiz similar to the one on Pottermore would be a very cool way of sorting the character. Whatever ends up happening, whatever you choose affects the results, and you either get, one of the four, or maybe even if your answers are a little bit controversial, or maybe, you could be sorted into two houses. Maybe there could be a hat stall, and you can choose between two of the houses. Maybe you get a hat stall between get a hat stall between Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, and then you can choose from there. Or maybe you get a hat stall between Slytherin and Ravenclaw, and then you get to choose. I think something like that would be neat, but not full range. You should not be able to choose between all four houses. I feel like it's not really how the lore works and how the Sorting Hat works, so you shouldn't just be able to choose. And then getting into the game mechanics, how the game should work, is it should basically be almost like a Skyrim-esque game. Open world RPG, you have control over what you do in the game. You can choose whether or not to go to classes. You can choose whether or not to go, off somewhere, leave, Hogwarts grounds to do some adventurous things. I think you should only be able to level up if you attend classes, because that would be you learn a spell, or you learn how to make this potion, and then you level up in that skill. It would make sense. Now, if it gets set more of like a Fantastic Beasts sort of situation where you're a full grown adult, then maybe you should have more free reign. In fact, it would be very interesting if you could choose where you go, because there are so many, Harry Potter, wizarding schools. There's one in the United States, which is Ilvermorny. There's one in the UK, which is Hogwarts. There's one in Bulgaria, which is the Durmstrang, and there's one in France, which is the Beauxbatons, and there's other schools around the globe. So it'd be kind of neat if you could choose which school you go to. Now, most people would probably choose Hogwarts because it's Hogwarts, but some people could also be able to choose Ilvermorny, and then they get that sort of experience of learning in an American wizarding school, or they go to Beauxbatons, where they learn the French way, I guess, in a way, about French, how attending a French wizarding school. I think that would be kind of neat. All of the schools work their own way, and it's very similar to however the type of government that they're running. So we kind of need to see that diversity if there's ever a Fantastic Beasts sort of RPG game where it's more of like just the whole wizarding world versus just Hogwarts. I think the first game, at least, if assuming that there would be a series, the first game at least should definitely focus on Hogwarts, because that's what everybody knows. It's it hits close to home. You should be able to go to Hogsmeade. You should be able to use the secret passages, and it should even stimulate the houses, the dorms. You should have to enter like a sort of password in order to get into the dorm, or with Ravenclaw, you should have to answer a riddle correctly in order to get into the dorm. Otherwise, you would have to wait however long in order to get into the dorm, or wait for someone else to come and answer the riddle. Something that simulates that sort of thing, or like if you're in Hufflepuff, you have to tickle the pear, and if you're in Slytherin, you would have to say pureblood. Simulating that sort of feel of, yes, you have to have a password in order to get into the dorm. Otherwise, you're kind of stranded out here. There should definitely be sort of, filch, wandering the halls. If you get caught, you get into detention, and however that works. Maybe you get into when you get caught, you have to do a mini game, sort of like in Bully. When you get caught, you have to do you load them on. What? Mow the lawn. You have to mow the lawn and sort of that sort of thing. So like in Harry Potter, you should have to clean the cauldrons, or clean all of the trophies till they shine to the shine like the top of the Chrysler building. A sort of something like that. I think that would be really cool to see. I don't think there should be familiar faces, at least not with the students. I know it's tempting to have, Snape, Dumbledore, McGonagall, Harry Potter, Hermione. But first of all, Snape definitely should not be a thing, because, no one should be able to play him except Alan Rickman, and obviously Alan Rickman is not here to play that role. I mean, I feel like anyone else would just not work, and it would feel really, really weird. So instead of using existing staff, I think they should do it with other staff, not necessarily ones that are associated with the books. Maybe at the very least, at the very most, maybe, Professor McGonagall could be headmistress, and that's sort of like the tie-in with that, or maybe Hagrid could still be around. But as for the others, like Harry Potter and Hermione and Ron and all those people, no, they shouldn't be around. I mean, maybe, just maybe, they could, Neville could be teaching herbology, and that sort of could tie that in. But I think it would be nice to have a game where there isn't Harry Potter. However they promote that, it's up to them. It's very simple to promote Harry Potter game without Harry Potter, especially since it's an RPG game. They have Hogwarts. You get to attend Hogwarts. You get to finally get your letter, and you get to finally be sorted, and then you can attend classes. And it's a very easy thing to promote without needing the brand itself. And in fact, they've changed the brand to Wizarding World, so it's not like they necessarily have to use Harry Potter in order to promote the game. I mean, yeah, they can say, experience the world of Harry Potter, but that doesn't mean there has to be a Harry Potter in the game. Especially since it is an RPG game, you're going to be able to, you should be able to, mess with the world and do things and even go to the dark side. It would be a very interesting thing, and even have a chance of going to Azkaban itself if you were to perform, an unforgivable curse or something similar. It would be really neat to have that sort of reputation where if you kill someone, you have a likely chance of getting arrested and going to Azkaban. Having Dementors, having the Patronus, that's just something really cool that I would love to see. Let me think. Anything else that I would love to see in a Harry Potter RPG game? Quidditch, definitely Quidditch. Just have Quidditch matches. Be able to fly in brooms and not just fly through the stupid rings. Please, no. I mean, it wasn't that bad in Half-Blood Prince, but seriously. I would love to be able to choose the position that I made the audition for or try out for. And you can choose whether or not you want to be a keeper, you want to be a seeker, you want to be a chaser, a beater, or whatever you want to be. You can choose that, and that's the role that you try and do. Maybe there's mini games for that each roles, but you should be able to definitely choose the one that you want. And you should be able to go up against the other houses and even have the potential of going to the Quidditch World Cup, where you compete against other nations, England against, Bulgaria, and then you could see, like, Victor Crumb and all of that. But I really think that Quidditch should definitely be implemented into the game, and you should be able to play it. Same with other, wizarding games. You should be able to play Wizard's Chest and Gobstones. I think it's Gobstones. Yeah. And, do all of that. And you should be able to, ride the Hogwarts Express and have all of these things that, just tie into the whole thing. And that would be really cool to see. I think it would be really cool to see an open world RPG game that revolves around the Harry Potter universe. I think that'd be really cool. But not with the actual characters. I think more of I think it'd be better to not have those characters. And maybe just have it like 10 years in the future or something. You could very well technically have, like James Potter and Albus Potter or whatever, do all that stuff. But honestly, I wouldn't. I don't think anyone should be connected to the original series. And that's how I would make a Harry Potter RPG game. Comment down below, guys. What would you want to see in a Harry Potter RPG game? If it were to happen, what would you want to see in it? What specifically would you ask for to have? Maybe it's, Diagon Alley, having, being able to have, wand testing and all of that. Whatever you want, comment down below. What do you want to see? Would you want to see Harry Potter, at least a cameo of him? Would you want to see that? Comment down below. Let me know. Leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Peace out, guys. It's been a blast.